I'm on the side of I embrace the Common Core standards. So that's sort of where I stand. And I say that because I think it is important that we have a rigorous standard for all students. And without those standards, I'm not so sure that when students leave us, they would really be prepared for success beyond high school. And in fact, although we have increased the number of students who pass their high school proficiency assessment, as of this date, we have not significantly made an impact on the number of students who have to take remedial courses when they leave us. So I want us to have a common standard where we know that when students leave us, they will have accomplished that. There are, though, challenges. First of all, it is definitely a more rigorous curriculum across the board, and it is going much deeper than anything we've done before. Now, some of our students and our teachers are really prepared for that, and they've been doing this all along. But as a standard across an entire district, I have to say that nowhere in the country has that been accepted. So that means a couple of things. One, it means that we're going to have to support and prepare teachers to deliver that kind of instruction, to enable students to go deeply into the text, to make sure that they are making, drawing inferences and making decisions about what they read and drawing conclusions and then going forward. We haven't necessarily been doing this. And remember, it's in reading and in math. So that, now it's a lot about showing your thinking and your work, understanding processes, not only in getting the right answers. Clearly, this is designed around, first of all, making sure that when students leave us, they're going to be prepared to successfully enter college or the workforce, but also it's obviously designed around making us just more competitive as a district, as a state, as a nation. So, I think that, first of all, we've only touched a little bit of the Common Core this past year. One of the first tasks, and this actually started before I got to Jersey City, was to align the curriculum. Okay, so that work has been done, and subsequently they adopted curriculum materials to support that. Now it's to enable the teachers to go deeply into the curriculum. So a lot of this is just around teachers not being familiar, because we haven't had this before, with how do you deliver that kind of instruction. Additionally, because our classes are for the most part heterogeneously arranged, teachers have to figure out how do you adapt this rigorous curriculum to the various needs and placements of the different students in the classrooms. Students are at different places. That means that students will need different levels of support. So that means that we have to support teachers in figuring out how to deliver it. Teachers are at different levels of their own readiness for this. Another complaint, quite frankly, is around this idea around assessments and testing, and that's, I know that if I didn't say that, that would be your next question. So one of the things that I really try to emphasize is let's not mush up Common Core state standards with PARCC assessments. Those are two. The PARCC assessments are more rigorous assessments that are being designed to address whether or not we've actually implemented the Common Core state standards, or if I can say CCSS, effectively. But that is not the real work. The work is the actual execution of the standards. Now, the idea around the frequent testing, we're giving quarterly assessments as an example to see if we were keeping pace and to determine, well, if the students haven't done this thus far, how do we need to sort of make a mid-course correction or a quarter course correction, then a mid-course correction, to ensure that students are indeed getting the information. So we already had those quarterly assessments before we had CCSS. This is just now changing a little bit the shape of these assessments to make these assessments more PARCC-like, so that when the students actually take those assessments, it isn't a shock. Because again, because the standards are deeper and more rigorous, it means the assessments to assess that will be deeper and more rigorous.